What's going on, you guys? Thanks for tuning into the channel today. All right, well, we could talk about that barn burner of a game last night between the Canadiens and the Panthers. We could talk about Nick Suzuki's 5-minute game misconduct. We could talk about a lot of stuff about that game because it was just off the charts, obviously, in terms of goals. 11 goals in the first period alone, which was just wild. I can't even fit, scrolling through, I can't even fit all the goals on one page from last night. But anyway, we are going to talk about something I thought was a bit more interesting in terms of where the Habs fans' interest is at right now with the team. And that, of course, is in Tankathon. So that being said, I titled this video that the Canadiens are likely not to finish better than 28th place right now. So right now, the Canadiens are actually in 27th place. The Flyers are just 1 point behind the Habs right now. Chicago right behind them, and also Anaheim, both with 54 points. Philly's got 59. Montreal has 60. Arizona has jumped up and gotten ahead of the Canadiens as well with 63 points right now. So I don't think the Canadiens are going to finish better than 28th overall. So what does that look like for our draft lottery odds? Well, it basically looks like this. As of right now, with the Canadiens in 27th place, they've got a 8.5% chance. Actually, sorry, they've got a 7.5% chance to win the draft lottery. And then if they get into 28th place and stay there, they'll have an 8.5% chance at the draft lottery. Columbus being at the top with 25.5% chance. I thought the Canadiens last year had an 18% chance, but once they got into 32nd, I believe that those numbers went up. So basically that means that there's 4 possible teams only that could beat the Canadiens to win the draft lottery. And it's got to be a really lucky lottery for the Canadiens to win it, of course. But depending on where the Florida Panthers finish, that's how it's going to have partially determine that result. So that being said, I thought that was a bit more interesting to talk about because we all know we're really excited now for May the 8th because that's when the NHL draft lottery is. And I think that's where we're going to figure out the future of this franchise in at least this window for the franchise, because it's such a big draft. It's such a loaded draft. We're all hoping for Connor, possibly Adam Fantilli. Michkov may not come to the NHL until 2026 with the whole situation there with him in Russia, but there's still a lot of great players, and that is going to be a big determination factor. And I think the fact that the Canadiens are not going to finish better than 28th is still going to give us a decent pick and possibly win the lottery. Like, we have no idea what's going to happen. But in terms of last night, let's just touch on it for a minute. And actually, before we continue on, I will give you guys a bit of a teaser. 3 guests I'm going to be bringing on in the next couple weeks to the channel. One of interest to you guys. Well, I should say they're all of interest is what I meant, but one that you guys already know about, Hockey Junkie, coming on tomorrow. So continuing on from last night, the Canadiens' first period with the Panthers was just bonkers. And, Mike Matheson, I think, is a player that really is somebody we're gonna have to hold on to for a while, especially in lieu of Lane Hutson eventually arriving, because to me it seems like Matheson's our best defenseman right now in the Canadiens. His offensive upside has really been showing. I think it's already shown, with Florida and his previous teams, but he's really shown it more lately. He's not afraid to dangle in the offensive zone and make some moves and get some points, scoring 16 seconds into the game last night, but also just being a good distributor on the power play. So I really like what I'm seeing from Mike Matheson also. And nice to see Richard get rewarded last night. RHP getting himself another goal. Mike Pizzetta getting himself another goal. So that was fun. Rem Pitlick getting the power play marker. But I'm only talking about the Habs goals from last night, but it was cool to see former Ice Dog Carter Verhaeghe get a couple, I guess. But that game last night was just bonkers. But Nick Suzuki, in terms of that 5-game misconduct, I don't fully understand what the refs saw. I think they're just trying to protect Nick Suzuki there, because I think they know Nick's reputation as being a pretty good leader, a pretty calm leader. So he doesn't get fired up very much. And there wasn't a whole lot there. Even Nick said after the game that he felt he did wrong, and he felt like the refs were just trying to manage the game. Therefore, that's why they gave him the 5-minute major penalty and the game misconduct. So that was extremely rare to see from Nick Suzuki. Actually, yeah, Nick got 5 in a game, so 10-minute misconduct, which is extremely rare. This was at 17:09 of the third period. The game was long over anyway. But I mean, it was interesting to see Nick get fired up and show some emotion. There wasn't much there. So I don't understand it, but I actually do understand is what I meant to say, because if anything, this was a situation where the refs should manage the game to protect guys like young captains like Nick Suzuki possibly. So, but he would answer the bell. I don't think he would drop the gloves maybe, but depending on who it was, he might. I think we might see one or two Nick Suzuki fights in his future, and I don't want to see him get hurt. So Lord protect him. But anyway, I'm gonna just end this video by saying that we got Hockey Junkie tomorrow. I'm also going to be having my good pal Akil Thomas. You may remember him from the 2020 World Juniors, where he was the golden boy for that team, beating Russia, getting the golden goal in the game against Russia, and getting the gold medal for Team Canada. He's also an LA Kings draft pick. He's recovering from a season-ending injury right now. Actually, Akil Thomas is, but he also plays with the LA Reign, the farm team for the LA Kings, and he'll be joining me in the next week or two here on the channel. And I'm also working on a Canuck Clay interview. Canuck Clay is probably one of the nicest YouTubers I've ever, and I haven't even talked to him directly other than just Twitter a little bit, but just from what I've seen, you kind of get a vibe from the camera here. And Canuck Clay is going to be fun to chat with if I can get him on. So I'll be talking to him and seeing if we can get him on the show to talk some Canucks as well. Possibly some Bedard sweepstake conversations and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. So just drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about where the Canadiens are going to finish in the standings. I don't think they're going to finish better than 28th. I don't think they're going to drop down much further than that either, with Chicago and Anaheim, pretty well behind them. San Jose's behind them as well, even further. So Columbus, obviously. So I just think that's where the Canadiens are going to end up, as 28th overall at best. Or worst. How do you I guess worst is the way to look at it. So 28th is the worst they're going to do, I think. But anyway, guys, talk to you soon. Appreciate it.